From Sputnik to SpaceX, the evolution of the space race. The space race is one of the most defining stories of the modern era. It began not with astronauts, rockets, or the moon landing, but with a small beeping sphere launched into orbit on October 4th, 1957, Sputnik 1. This tiny satellite, no larger than a beach ball, changed the course of history. Its launch by the Soviet Union shocked the world, igniting a fierce rivalry with the United States and opening the gateway to human space exploration. From the Cold War competition between superpowers to today's era of global cooperation and private innovation, the space race reflects humanity's boundless curiosity and ambition. In this article, we trace its journey from Sputnik to the present day, highlighting the triumphs, challenges, and enduring human spirit that continues to push us toward the stars. The launch of Sputnik and the birth of the space race. When the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1 in 1957, it was more than just a technological milestone. It was a geopolitical shockwave. For the first time, humanity had placed a man-made object into orbit, and the beeping signals transmitted from space symbolized Soviet scientific and military superiority. The world suddenly realized that space was not just about exploration. It was about power, prestige, and the future of human civilization. The U.S. response, NASA and Mercury. The United States reacted swiftly. In 1958, it created NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, consolidating its scientific and military space efforts. The Mercury program aimed to send the first Americans into space. While the U.S. lagged behind the Soviet Union in the early years, its determination to catch up set the stage for some of the most iconic achievements in history. Yuri Gagarin and the first human in space. On April 12, 1961, Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human to travel into space aboard Vostok 1. His 108-minute orbital flight was a triumph for the Soviet Union and a moment of global wonder. Gagarin returned as a hero, a symbol of what humanity could achieve when it dared to venture beyond Earth. For the U.S., however, it was another reminder of the urgency to compete. Just weeks later, President John F. Kennedy declared that America would aim to land a man on the moon before the end of the decade. Apollo 11 and the moon landing. The Apollo program became the centerpiece of America's space race strategy. After years of development, tragedy, and perseverance, the effort culminated in Apollo 11. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon, while Michael Collins orbited above. Armstrong's famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," captured not only the triumph of the United States, but also the universal significance of humanity's first steps on another world. The moon landing marked a turning point. The U.S. had achieved its goal, and the intense rivalry of the space race began to fade. The end of the Cold War and new directions. As the Cold War tensions softened, so too did the competition in space. The 1970s and 1980s saw more collaborative projects, such as the Apollo-Soyuz test project in 1975, where American and Soviet spacecraft docked in orbit. Space exploration shifted from national rivalry to scientific curiosity, with missions exploring planets, asteroids, and the outer reaches of the solar system. The International Space Station, collaboration in orbit. The International Space Station, ISOS, launched in 1998, became a symbol of global unity, built and operated by multiple nations, including the United States, Russia, Japan, Canada, and European partners. The ISS is the largest cooperative project in space history. It has hosted astronauts from around the world, serving as both a scientific laboratory and a demonstration of peaceful cooperation beyond Earth. The rise of private space companies. In recent decades, the narrative of the space race has shifted once again. While governments remain central players, private companies have begun to revolutionize the industry. SpaceX, founded by Elon Musk, pioneered reusable rockets, drastically lowering the cost of space travel. Blue Origin, led by Jeff Bezos, envisions commercial spaceflight for ordinary citizens. Other companies, such as Rocket Lab and Virgin Galactic, have also entered the field, each contributing to a new era of innovation and accessibility. The new space race, Mars, the moon, and beyond. Today, the space race is no longer just a contest between superpowers. It is a global and multifaceted endeavor. Nations such as China, India, and the United Arab Emirates are pursuing ambitious missions. NASA's Artemis program aims to return humans to the moon by the mid-2020s, with the long-term goal of establishing a permanent lunar presence. Mars has become the next great frontier, with multiple robotic missions paving the way for eventual human exploration.